Last time we saw Julia and Alex build a home in Flat Rock, Michigan. Now in Chapter 6, titled Charles Frank Szabo, we meet their sweet baby boy whose life was heartbreakingly short. Chapter 6, Charles Frank Szabo. Little Charles Frank Szabo was born in the West Road house on October 8, 1924, and was delivered by Dr. Proud, a Canadian-born physician who had come to Flat Rock as a general practitioner and who would be the family's physician for the next 4 decades. Julia made a cozy bed for little Charles in her large oval woven laundry basket. He was a sweet-natured baby with sparkling blue eyes and a mop of blonde hair, and he was adored by all the family. The older children delighted in giving him rides in a collapsible oak high chair that served all of them. It converted to a low chair with wheels and could easily be moved around the house. They called it his go-kart. Alex adored babies. They were his Cupid dolls, and he played with Charlie whenever he had spare time. Charlie saw him off to work and waved bye-bye, and Charlie welcomed him home with a hug of his trousered legs. But one day, when he was just over 2 years old, little Charlie fell ill. He couldn't tell about his symptoms. He just knew something was wrong, and he was fussy. By the time Dr. Proud was summoned, he was gravely ill with a ruptured appendix, and he died of peritonitis on November 30th, 1926. The doctor was notified, and Findlay Funeral Home was called, and Julia tenderly laid him out on one of the big beds, placed a penny over each eye, and asked the other children to watch over him so the pennies wouldn't slip off. This was their first experience with death. It seemed so final and frightening. They kept hoping that he would wake up suddenly and be his laughing, giggling, mischievous self. Julia calmly went about the family chores. It being wash day, there was work to be done. It was a bitter cold day, but even so, she hung the family laundry out to dry on the clotheslines in the side yard. The coffin was delivered, and Julia carefully dressed him in his best outfit, blue. He always looked so nice in blue, with his ivory skin and his shining blue eyes. His little coffin was on the closed-in side porch, Lucille's room, so the neighbors who wished could come in and see his angelic face for the last time. He was buried in a small cemetery on Huron River Drive in Flat Rock. The family couldn't afford a granite stone, so Alexander fashioned a marker out of a wooden board with Charles' name and dates carved upon it. Julia and the children planted pink wax begonias on the little grave. They had been Charlie's favorite flower, and the family always referred to them as Charlie's flowers. It wasn't until years later that they learned the real name for this beautiful plant. Thank you for listening to this tender part of my grandmother's story. I'll continue with Chapter 7 soon, and I hope you'll join me as we go on. And if you'd like to hear from the beginning, all of the chapters are saved together, titled My Grandmother's Life.